Legal tender treasury note, which is also known as an ornate or a fancy bag.
Okay, these are cool. And they're pretty damn rare.
10 most expensive buys on Pawn Stars history. With over 500 episodes in the bag, the American celebrity TV show Pawn Stars, which focuses on the daily activities of the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop, is where a number of items are being sold, some more expensive than others. Well, in today's video, we'll be shifting to the more expensive side of things as we take a look at 10 most expensive buys on Pawn Stars history. But before we go any further, kindly take 5 seconds out of your time to like the video, hit the subscribe button, and turn on post notifications so you never miss an update from us. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
Okay.
500 bucks.
10. Vic Flick's 1961 Fender Stratocaster guitar, $55,000. If you're searching for iconic rock guitars, look no further than the Fender Stratocaster. In one of the episodes on the show, legendary studio musician Vic Flicks brought into the pawn shop his 1961 Fender, which he played on popular recordings for artists like Tom Jones and the Beatles. After negotiation and confirming its authenticity, Rick acquired the guitar for $55,000.
Surprised, I thought he was going to go down to the 30s or something like that. I knew he'd probably go for 55, and I'm happy.
9. John F. Kennedy cigar box, $60,000. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, often referred to as JFK, served as the 35th President of the United States from January 1961 until his assassination in November 1963. And he was regarded as one of America's best presidents.
Have John F. Kennedy's cigar box he used in the White House.
Over the years, any item belonging to the late president was sold for a very expensive amount. So was the case when a man walked into the golden and silver pawn shop with a cigar box that was once used by President John F. Kennedy. Just imagine the delight on Rick's face. In the 90s, John Kennedy's cigar boxes were sold for over $500,000, but Rick was lucky as he was able to snag this one for $60,000.
I took 60. It's fine because if I would have put it in an auction, I would have had to wait about 6 months. We need money now.
8. 2014 Hertz Penske GT Mustang, $60,000. Cars are one of the most popular buys on Pawn Stars, usually because they can be later sold for higher prices. In 2013, the car rental company Hertz announced a partnership with American entrepreneur Roger Penske to create 150 limited Ford GT Mustangs.
I'm Joey Logano. I drive the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
In an episode of the show, a gentleman brought Rick one of the very first 10 ever built. Much to the delight of Rick, and as always, he had to make sure everything was in perfect working condition. He then invited professional NASCAR driver Joey Logano to give it a test drive. After confirming everything was working perfectly, Rick bought the car for $60,000.
We'll do some paperwork.
They'll do.
Cool. I'm gonna call Joey and take it for another ride.
7. 1915 Panama Pacific octagonal gold coin, $67.5 thousand. In one of the episodes of Pawn Stars, Rick and the crew headed to Atlanta to attend one of the biggest coin auctions in America, with the aim of finding in 1915 Panama Pacific octagonal gold coin. The coin was to be sold to a customer who wanted to pay $70,000 for it, so the trip was a matter of severe urgency.
Spent a lot of money in my shop, and this is the coin he's looking for.
The Panama Pacific octagonal gold coin was created by the U.S. Mint to celebrate the opening of the Panama Canal. Thankfully, Rick was able to find the coin, which he negotiated for a price of $67,500.
Will you take care of the paperwork? I'm gonna go shopping.
How does he get to have all the fun?
6. 1922 high relief dollar, $80,000. In 1921, the U.S. Mint began production of the new piece design for silver dollars, a design that marked the piece after the end of World War I. Because of the heritage and value of the coin, it's worth nearly $150,000 in today's currency. It's known in collector circles as one of the rarest American coins ever made. And when the owner brought the coin into the pawn shop, he didn't know the exact worth. According to the owner, he acquired the coin in a poker game and was more than happy to take home $80,000 after the shop purchased it.
I made $80,000 on the coin. Super excited about it. Definitely gonna keep playing poker. Hopefully I get another coin like this sometime.
5. 1941 Gibson SJ200 guitar, $85,000. Rick is a big fan of guitars, and in one of the episodes of the show, a well-maintained, beautiful 1941 Gibson SJ200 guitar was brought into the shop. The guitar was owned by Stephen Stills, an American singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist, who was best known for his work with Buffalo Springfield and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
It's beautiful, it's rare, and it was owned by a rock and roll legend.
The guitar was sold signed by Stephen Stills himself, which made it even more expensive. With the hope of selling the guitar twice the price in the future, Rick purchased it for $85,000, which made it the second most expensive guitar ever bought on the show.
85, man.
All right.
I thought it was a fair price, so with 85,000 bucks, I'm gonna go buy some more guitars.
4. 1961 Gibson SG Les Paul guitar, $90,000. Guitars are known to be quite expensive, but when they belong to legendary songwriters like Les Paul, they tend to be even more valuable. In an episode of Pawn Stars, one of the famous songwriter's guitars was brought into the shop for sale. For those of you who don't know who Les Paul is, here is a short introduction. Les Paul was an American jazz, country, and blues guitarist, songwriter, and occasional inventor. He was one of the pioneers of the solid body electric guitar, and his unique techniques were used as inspiration for the Gibson Les Paul. The twist in the tale of the deal, however, was that the guitar actually belonged to Mary Ford, who was reportedly Paul's wife and music partner. The duo was widely successful in the 1950s, with 28 each record credited to their name. It was reported that Mary played the particular guitar on the #1 hit song, How High the Moon, and even Les Paul had a few plays on the guitar. Rick and the Pawn Star crew had to pay a whopping sum of $90,000 for the guitar, making it the most expensive guitar ever bought on the show.
I just spent 90 grand on a guitar and a stack of papers. That's a ton of money.
3. 1932 Lincoln Roadster, $95,000.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
How's it going? What do we have here?
You got a 1932 Ford Roadster here.
Built during the time of the Great Depression, the luxurious Lincoln Roadster was one car that stood out in its days. When a dealer strolled into the pawn shop claiming he had a well-maintained mint and cream-colored Roadster powered by a V12 engine, Rick knew he had to buy it. When the car was initially made by Lincoln's parents' company Ford, it was designed to lure drivers away from their competition at Cadillac and was sold roughly around $4,000. Well, for Rick and the crew, they didn't get it for such a generous price, as they had to offer a cash buy of $95,000. Luckily for them, the owner would use the same money he earned from the deal to buy $95,000 worth of gold from the pawn shop.
I got a pretty cool car.
It was very tough to go under 70 because I have a lot of time and money in this car.
2. 3,000 ounces cars of silver, $111,000. Silver is considered one of the most valuable metals on Earth, which was why a gentleman decided to purchase over 3,000 ounces of silver after being told by his father to invest. 12 years after his supposed investment, he walked into Rick's pawn shop hoping to sell the 3,000 ounces of silver. Due to the fact that silver could be easily changed from real to fake without anyone knowing the wiser, Rick and the crew proceeded to test the authenticity of the silver. Rick tested the silver with nitric acid and even drilled to the core of the silver bars to determine if they were purely made from the metal. After verifying the silver was actually real, Rick bought the 3,000 ounces of silver at a market rate of $111,000.
I'm really glad my dad taught me to invest, because today I'm walking out with over $100,000.
1. Maurice Sendak sketches, $250,000. Rick Harrison, who is the owner of the gold and silver pawn shop, is known to love many things, one of which is art. In an episode of the show, a collector offered him the original sketches that became Maurice Sendak's children's book classic, Where the Wild Things Are, When Rick finally got the chance to see the drawings in person, he was completely blown away and wanted to buy it immediately. It was the greatest book ever written. When I was a kid, I was fascinated by the pictures. It was so different from any other children's book. Rick told the dealer. The dealer claimed drawings were authentic and one of a kind, and following a consult from an art expert, this was believed to be so. The dealer wanted to sell the drawings for about $300,000, but Rick was able to beat down the price and ended up buying it for $250,000.
Thank you.
Bring them down to the shop. We'll do all the paperwork. They're amazing, man. Now you know where the wild things are. I own them.
With that, we have come to the end of the video for today. Which one of these items do you think Rick and the crew could have acquired for less? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. Until next time, stay safe, guys. Bye.